Sawadee krab. Welcome to a new episode of Cooking for Fun. Today, as you possibly can guess, what we are cooking. I think the decoration did a nice job today. I think we should put that in a pan. What do you think?
Take a while to cook.
So today we are going shopping for something, for two main courses. Something you can prepare a while in advance and something quick and easy. So if you need a fast main course, you can do that. So we're doing some lamb and some fish today.
Yes.
Let me introduce my colleague Ross. I forgot that completely, as I always do. I think today Ross will take care of most of the things and I will do the talking. So let's go shopping. What do you think? So I think we need some meat.
Yep, I think maybe a little lamb.
Lamb? I thought lamb is not popular.
Yeah, I think the problem is a lot of people confuse lamb with mutton. Mutton's an old lamb, which has a distinct smell. It's quite strong. But most of the lamb you buy these days is spring lamb. It's very light. It's not that much harder than beef, stronger than beef. And you don't need to kill it with the mint or anything. There's this beautiful lamb out there now. And I think the perception is that it smells funny. It should be gone by now.
So what are we taking, lamb? We're taking the shanks? Or?
I think we'll take a couple of lamb shanks and cook them nice and slow, braise them in some red wine.
Okay, no problem.
Song.
Hey, Ross, I think we need some fish, yeah?
Yeah, the salmon looks quite good.
It looks excellent, actually. Quite nice and bright.
Yeah, let's take a couple of fillets of this.
So I think we should get some wine, huh?
Yes.
So we are cooking with wine today.
Yeah, we need a little bit of wine. We need a white and a red. For the salmon, I think probably best to cook with a dry Australian Riesling. Lots of fruit, no oak, very fresh, and should be absolutely perfect to cook the salmon in.
You will also need some red, huh?
We're doing something special with the lamb shanks. They need to be cooked in liquid, so red wine is a good choice. And I think we should use a nice, rich, luscious Shiraz. Not too much oak, but nice and blackberry and nice, deep, rich flavors that will stand up with the lamb and give it a lot of flavor.
And Shiraz comes only from Australia?
No, Shiraz also comes from the French in the Rhone, Syrah. And also you can find it in America, South America, and a few different places, South Africa as well. But this Australian one has lots of fruit and it's really nice. Should be absolutely perfect to braise the lamb in.
Okay, let's go into the kitchen. Welcome back. So Ross, how are we doing with the lamb now?
Lamb shanks, they're easy to cook, but it's a difficult cut. If you just put this on the barbecue, you couldn't chew it. It's a very difficult muscle, and one that if you cook it right, and you can really appreciate it. What you're trying to do here is to get the flavors to come together. So the moisture that you're going to cook this in, the liquid, the red wine, the onions, the tomato, all the flavors, you want to marry with the meat and come in and cook it slowly so that it falls apart. So when you eat this 2 or 3 hours later, you can eat it with a spoon. And that's the real art.
It basically falls off the bone.
That's correct.
So what's the first thing you do?
First thing you have to do is sear them off, get them nice and caramelized on the outside. So I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil. And then it's quite strong, so I'm just going to use a little bit of regular corn oil. So we're just going to put a little salt on these.
It's quite a sexy salt meal.
And it has a light, so when you do your salt and peppering in the dark. So now we're all set. Oil's nice and hot.
Getting nice. Yep. You see that just starting to shine, and
it should start to sizzle away. So this dish is going to take a while, and what I suggest is you make it even the day ahead. It's best to let it cool in the liquid you cook it in anyway, so it's just as well. So to sear those off on all sides, I'm going to get rid of that. That's going to take some time. Now you can also cook those in the oven afterward, and I can show you how to do that.
And now when you see it starts really to sear the meat.
You want to get a nice brown caramelized color on each side. So start with the bottom and move to each side. What this is going to go with, the sauce is going to make itself in the pot, but we're going to put a nice root vegetable mashed potato underneath. So we have potatoes, parsnips, and carrots, which I've already cut up, and just put in some cold water and put some salt in. And we're just going to boil those.
I'm just taking the heat a little bit down because we started it to get it nice and hot.
If they're still stuck, you want to leave it there. If it's stuck, it's because the protein hasn't released yet. When it's loose, it'll come by itself, and you can turn it.
And you see it nearly falls by itself because it lets loose. How long would you prepare the root vegetables before?
These take about 20 minutes. So when you're cooking these a day in advance, when you're warming these up, you can start your root vegetables. And you're just going to keep cooking these until they get tender. So once they've been seared all the way around, remove them. And for purposes of TV, we're just going to expedite this. Move them away. Keep the pan on, lower the heat a little bit, and I'm adding sliced onions.
And you possibly want me to stir?
And I want you to stir.
Thank you.
I'm also throwing in some shallots. And you want to cook those nice and slow.
Take the heat off a little bit and make it nice and brown.
You don't want to fry the onions. You want to caramelize them slowly. Bring out the sugars. This is going to be the base of the sauce.
Looks quite good, huh? Smells good.
Smells good. And you get all the flavors from the meat and the olive oil that you used before.
And you should really smell that.
Throw the tomato paste in and caramelize that. So the onions and the tomato paste get a deep brown color. And all the sugar from the tomato comes out, and you get this tremendous sweetness.
And the good thing on the tomato paste is that it actually, when it's canned or put in a tube, where the tomatoes